Right, here we have a little video, a bit unscripted, on the repairs to my Sirio Victor 4000. In all the storms we had a few weeks ago, we hit about 75 miles an hour on the east coast of Lincolnshire at the aerial's about 45 feet to the feed point. The main radiator was absolutely perfectly straight and had no issues whatsoever. The issue was the ring becoming detached. First of all, one radial broke off very, very quickly, almost before the storms begun. Whether there was an issue with that one previously, I hadn't noticed when assembling, and one had broken, and the wind loading on the ring as between the three over the few weeks to the three broke. You can see what's happened here. I put these penny washers on when I assembled it because the ring seemed very flexy and shaky, because the bolts, they go through quite a slot and the heads are hardly any bigger than the slot, and it looked like it was waiting to fall apart. And I put them together with the radial sandwiched in the middle on the ring. I don't know if you can see that, and the penny washer each side. Maybe this being a lot more rigid didn't help the stresses on the you can see there. Well, the solution is I've got the original tubing is around 12mm-ish at the bottom section, and 10mm slips into it, and in the brace the 12mm fits into the brace and it stops with like an internal flange. Well, what I've done, I've got some tubing 16mm that perfectly fits over the bottom piece of the radial. Now I've taken the bottom piece of the radial off, turned it upside down, so that was originally bolted at the bottom of the radial, and I've cut a length of 16mm, which, noticed I've squashed that on an angle there, flat, so the stress isn't in one point across, so it spreads it. Hopefully it'll be a little bit more durable. The only modification I had to do, where the original 12mm goes into the brace, there's an internal flange that stops this dropping down, but the hole in the flange is enough for the thin 10mm top of the radial to go through. You have to drill that out. I put a 13mm drill bit in, so the bottom piece then will fit in from the top. I've cut this 16mm to length. I had 4 of them actually on a, unfortunately they were for a 6m 5/8 wave I was making, and these were the ground radials, and I've had to chop them up for this because I can use something else for the 6m 5/8 wave, but this is the only stuff it fits. So basically put a slot in there. Now that's been drilled out, that'll fit straight in, that'll clamp up, and then we've already got the flat with the hole in already for, which originally came from the bottom. There's quite a bit of overlap on this top one. It goes into about here, so there's a fair bit of adjustment to get the ring at the correct height, so it should substantially beef it up. So you'd only need, these are 1 metre 400-ish. So you'd only need 4 1 metre 400 pieces of 16mm alloy tubing, and that'll beef the whole basket up, because the top section has gone up a size to what it was originally, and the bottom section's gone up a size. Now, if I was making it from scratch, I would make the hoop different, but this hoop's going back on. The reason is, at 20mm wide, don't know if you can see that, it's 20mm anyway, there's quite a wind loading on here. I think if I was designing, the 20mm flat isn't very aerodynamic, pretty big wind loading on it. I think I would use something like 8mm or maybe 10mm round solid alloy bar. Probably 8mm would be stronger and more rigid than this and not have the wind loading. So there you go. I think it's going to work out fine. It has a bit of a reputation for being fragile, this antenna does, but I think that's actually mainly down to the Mark 1, the earlier one of these, which was quite a bit longer. It was a 7/8 radiator rather than a 3/4 radiator, and made out of thinner tubing. I mean, this is absolutely, and actually I've lengthened this one 18 inches. I probably no more wind trap the extra 18 inches, because it's 18 inches of MIG welding wire, which is, I think it's 1/8 of an inch or something. And because I chopped the egg beater, the little egg beater, if you Google the pictures and look at the top of these, you'll know what I mean. Chopped the egg beater off at the top, which was heavy because it was made out of steel, didn't serve any purpose and was pointless. So I had it 18 inches longer, which, according to some, I'll put a link below probably where, according to some, an extra 18 inches is probably optimum for this design of antenna. Because, right, I'll leave you with that then, and hope this helps.